I apologize for what you're about to see, because anybody who actually cares about doing things properly, now's a good time to click off the video because this is going to be really terrible. Alright, let's get started. This is the controller for my MSD Atomic EFI. This is a Fox friend, he lives here. This is my radio, which is wired up like somebody's an electrician. And you can tell by the color fade that these have been here for a fat minute. This is how I turn it on. Except it doesn't work anymore. And this is my blower motor. You can see it also doesn't work. These were wired so they had constant power, fused of course, but they don't work anymore. So viewer discretion or something like that, I don't know. Okay, so this is the fuse running the Atomic EFI fuel injection. Took out this watertight cover here. We have 25 amp fuse running that thing. We can see, even though it's out in the elements here, there is not an ounce of green or anything in that. So this watertight boot is working properly. This wire nut is amazingly clean. And it's dirty, yes, but there's no corrosion in there. Once again, I apologize for this abomination that is the wiring in this car. Here is a non-heat shrink connector for the ground of said fuel injection, and also non-heat shrinked connector for fuel injection. Okay, but moving on. This wire right here runs my blower motor, and I'm pretty sure I wired it to run the radio too, but I can't remember. Now, this one doesn't have the little protective boot on it, so what did I do? Bought a replacement that didn't have a boot on it. Alright, let's replace this. This other one has been on here, let's see, I'm going to turn this into a game. Guess in the comments how many years this has been on this car. Alright, so now we're going to replace this. It's going to be about as temporary as a government policy. Alright, let's see, this one has a little finger on it. We'll start by undoing my wire nut here. Surprisingly, no corrosion. I might actually undo the battery here. I leave this cable loose on purpose in case this solenoid sticks. I can, you know, not die. Problem is I don't have any more of these little fingers. So it's pretty obvious that water got in this because it's green and corroded. And I'm pretty sure the corrosion created high resistance, which created heat, which caused this to melt. That just makes logical sense. I'm going to be halfway mature and cut off the corrosion. Let's see. Yep, no more green, so we'll just... Why? Why are you like this? Okay. And just gonna start clear over. Oh my. Hold on. Nope. Perfect. Now for better connection, I'm gonna strip this wire just a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. And same with the other side. We'll go ahead and wire nut this together, assuming my wire nut will bite a second time. My goodness, this is just the wrong way to do this. I'm cringing myself doing it, but you know, some dude on TV I always watch, you know, don't get it right, just get it running. One of my favorite quotes. Okay, let's see this. I'm not even going to put a finger on this. I'm just going to jam it underneath the screw. Strip this even more for a better connection. There we go. So once again, halfway mature, as mature as you can be doing this. We're going to wrap this around the screw clockwise so when we tighten it, it won't undo itself. I have to curl it first here. Oh, I have to take the screw off completely. It's fighting me. Okay, it just squished most of the wires out of it, so that's not gonna work. I need a new solution. Oh, it did a lot of damage. Maybe I put it behind this screw. Jeez, no wonder nothing works on this car. Everything's corroded. Put it behind, because I want to make sure I don't have any wires touching the other end of this breaker. So that would kind of defeat the purpose of having a breaker. There, now the wires aren't coming out. Get this good and snug here. So I'm going to make sure there's no stray strands of wires touching anything that they shouldn't be touching. Which there isn't. They're all trapped in there, so that's good. I'll hook my battery back up. I'm going to tap this to make sure it's not going to kill me. Nope. Hey, the bar motor's on. And my radio's back. It's got all the stations. It has static, 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 and static, and more static. There we go. Radio off and blower motor off. So I want to see what my amp drives my blower motor, so I want to make sure I'm not overloading my bad wiring job here. And something I noticed was the other day when I was using my new tool here, I would turn this clockwise to adjust it, and it would go negative. So now I'm going clockwise and it's going up, like you would expect. Now I'm going to go counterclockwise, and it goes back down, like you would expect. Well, I got the positive side in the negative port, and the negative side in the positive port. So, come on, Snap-on. When you pay a couple $100 for a tool, you can't even get the polarity right? Whatever. Anyway, snap away any extra juice there. Boop. So that blower motor at medium-high setting with a radio at a reasonably high setting with just static is pulling under 9 amps. So that 30 amp fuse is more than capable of running this. So that was purely a corrosion deal. So as sketchy as this is, it's totally safe. I don't think the Fox approves of my bad wiring job. Do you, buddy?